When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. When I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. If I get drunk, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who gets drunk next to you. And if I have her, hey, I know I'm gonna be the man who's hovering next to you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. This ain't easy, man. I'm never asking anybody. Welcome to the 500 show.
I'm going to answer a question.
Where am I looking at? Where's everybody looking at? They were telling me that they were looking.
Here we go.
And I keep flowing. Sorry about that. Just keep going. And then I just say I'm going to open a question. How does it work?
Oh, not a clue. Not qualified to answer. Sorry, that would be a plumber's question.
You have to ask me something or just go ahead? Yeah?
Okay. All right. So that's fine.
I am Justin. I am CEO of Generation Construction and Fine Homes.
That camera there.
We are builders. We do additions, renovations.
Oh, okay.
And we work in the GTA and Muskoka areas.
So my name is Luca. I'm from Liebram Plumbing.
It is amazing, and congratulations on that. That is phenomenal, doing that many podcasts. And we're celebrating here, and there's a lot of great networking going on and a lot of great other plumbers that I do recognize from the last time. So this is a great community. I love it.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, can I start over again? Where am I supposed to be looking? Where's the camera? So that is the camera where I'm going to be looking. So if I say hello, everybody, it's right there.
What's going on, guys? My name is Mike DiMartino. My company is Creatix Contracting. And
you should start, boss.
Oh, I'm ready to take on some of these questions. We're doing this for the TLC, the Construction Life podcast.
Am I on?
Ready to go. Let's do this. So I got a random bunch of questions on this table. I'm going to pick one of them. We are at a plumbing event, so I'm going to answer this question anyways and see where this goes.
Hi, I'm Lucas Oliveira, and I work for Lucas Plumbing.
I'm Rob from Galaxy Plumbing.
Sorry, what was the other part?
Hey everybody, this is John Durbano. I run the Wealth Easy podcast where we talk all things wealth, health, and real estate. So,
which one? The middle one there? Okay.
Hey, hi, my name is Megan, and I work in the plumbing industry for about 8 years now with Colvin Plumbing.
Hey guys, I'm Victor from Modern Water Solutions.
Hi, I'm Aaron, owner of Expert Plumbing and Drains.
We are here celebrating 500 podcasts through the construction life. And
hello, I'm John Kronemeyer. I'm with Dahl Valve, and I'm currently the president over there and just started with them 4 months ago.
All good now? Okay, perfect. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So I was told to grab a random question here. So we'll see what we got.
Hi, I'm Johnny Tobias. I'm the owner and operator of Brental Plumbing Mechanical.
So I'm Jay from Expert, and we're here at the Construction Life podcast. Going to be answering some questions.
Yeah, and I just needed to know that. I meant to ask that. So that's great. So can we start over?
So I'm Matt Botello with Botello Plumbing.
This good here? Okay.
Botello the Plumber on Instagram.
Hello, Construction Life. Hello, world. I'm Thomas from Dahl Valve Limited, a.k.a. Dahl Valve Man. And
the question, okay, the question. Can I restart, or is it already going?
So my name is Joel Sant. I own and operate Vital Elements Plumbing and Mechanical, and we're a small plumbing and mechanical company based out of Orangeville, Ontario.
My name is Brandon Liebman. I own Brandon Liebman Plumbing.
Hey everyone, I'm Greg from Generation Construction Fine Homes. We are a general contracting company.
My name is Jordan Kurtz from Panda Plumbing and Mechanical.
My name is Mark Romeo. My company is Romeo Mechanical.
I have a bunch of questions in front of me, and I have no idea what the question is going to be. I'm going to pick up a mystery piece of paper.
All right, so my name's Matt Fisher. I am the owner-operator of M. Fisher Plumbing and Drain Services out of the Niagara region.
I should have picked these before.
I'm Scott Martin. I own owner-operator of Pipes Plumbing Company out of St. Catharines, Ontario. We service Niagara region.
Hi, my name's Phil. I'm from Wisewater Plumbing.
Can I pick another one? Okay.
Hi there, I'm Anthony Pincenti. My company is Fina Plumbing. I am also a full-time plumbing professor at Durham College in Whitby.
I don't work with manifolds. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, because my name is actually Laura. Got you. Okay, when you're ready. Okay.
Oh boy. I'm just gonna.
And I'm reading one of these questions that we got here for. Okay, so we got, why does a tradesperson choose to become a plumber?
Okay, yeah, let me restart. So I got to say my name, company, and then the question. Okay. Do I say the question so people know what I'm saying? Okay. Can I start whenever?
We've been in business for 1.5 years now. We've specialized in commercial, residential, industrial service, new construction, and we do some custom homes.
Oh, okay. What's the one thing that has changed in plumbing over the last 50 years? Okay, so this is going to be from my standpoint as a manufacturer. I'm not a licensed plumber, but what we're seeing is the change to not only the change to plastic pipe, like PEX pipe, but it was more we saw a Wild West where, first there was iron pipe for eons, then there was copper pipe, and everything was standardized, and there was a universal availability of fittings. And then Poly B came out, and then Poly B went away, and PEX came in, then PEX L PEX, and we started seeing CPVC. Not only that, but we started seeing proprietary methods of connecting to the pipe, which was something that was new. And what's nice now is to see it's kind of standardizing a little bit. So that's one thing. The other thing, water conservation, a big change. I mean, I notice as a consumer. I also notice in my place, I live in the country, I'm on a septic. I wish my toilets could flush more water because you need to flush a lot of water down a septic. It's not the same as being in the city. The other thing I guess I'm seeing in general is someone is power tools everywhere. My dad's garage was full of manual tools, and if anything had power, it was maybe a circular saw. Maybe it was a drill for heavy jobs, and you would plug it in, and there was a big nail on the wall with a bunch of extension cords hanging off of it. Everything now is cordless, and so am I. And to that end, I'll say I'm yellow. But do you care? Probably not. I'm not even a plumber. Anything else in plumbing that's changed? Okay. One other thing comes to mind, and that is the consolidation in distribution. There used to be so many small wholesale distributors out there. Back in the mid-'80s, I drove the local delivery truck for Dahl in Toronto, and there were all these independent small places that we went to. And these days, they're usually now, those same locations have the sign of one of just a handful of wholesale distributors on the front of their buildings.
Okay, sorry. Just gonna keep.
Do you plan on doing this trade until 65 years of age or older? If my body lets me do that, I don't plan on being on the tools for that amount of time, but the goal is to build the business to the point where I can stay on the, managing the business and training the upcoming generation to, keep the trade going. But as far as being on the tools, I don't think I plan to do that. I don't think I'll last because I'm already hurting. I'm only 29 years old right now. So, but I do love the trade, and it's a privilege to, train the next guys and make sure, they're good plumbers.
The question that was given to me today is, what one business advice would you share with plumbers today and their businesses? Well, first of all, I would say you've got to pay yourself first. Most poor people and people generally will earn income and they spend that income. Plumbers and anybody in business, when you earn income, you need to have a system in place where you're paying yourself first. And I have what's called the 50-30-20 rule. 50% of your money goes to fixed expenses, 30% is toward your lifestyle, and 20% is toward your savings and investments. But you need to take the 20% off the top first and pay yourself first. The next piece of advice I would say is create a holding company, because once you start to accumulate assets like equipment, you want to be able to shelter those from creditors. So by creating a holding company, you get to move those assets into the holding company, and you also get to move retained earnings up into a holding company. And then the next piece of advice I would say is, from that holding company, get yourself a whole life insurance policy, and a policy that is going to replace, say, 20 to 30 years of lost income. But what you get to do is moving money from your operating company to your holding company is a tax-free transaction, but you also get to move the money from the holding company into a whole life insurance policy tax-free. And then you get to access that money tax-free during your lifetime. And then you can have it paid out through your retirement years, all tax-free. I would also highly recommend is getting yourself a disability insurance policy, one that is going to replace the income should you get injured, because life insurance only replaces an income if you die. But what happens if you get injured, and what happens if that injury is longer than 90 days? So you need to have something that's going to replace that income. And the other piece of advice I would say is purchase assets that produce cash flow. What people generally do is they make money and they spend it all. Wealthy people make money and buy assets that produce cash flow, and then they live off of that cash flow and have the assets increase. So get yourself a portfolio of real estate, live off the cash flow of that, and set yourself up for life. Thank you, Manny, for the 500th episode on the Construction Life. Congratulations to you. And thank you, Dahl, for sponsoring this event.
I don't know why any tradesperson chooses to become a plumber, but I know why I became a plumber. It was pretty much necessity. I didn't think water was going anywhere. It's something that people need, breathe every day like we need it. It's hard for AI to replace us, I guess. That's another thing that played into my decision in becoming one. Becoming useful, helping my family, things along those lines. So I think that's kind of why I became a tradesperson, but a plumber as a tradesperson. But why anybody generally, I couldn't answer for everybody, but I think just having water as a necessity in life, and I think it's something like a stat like 70% of human body is made up of water, right? So it's kind of an important thing. So
can I just go through a bunch of them?
This is now my 7th year teaching. So what is the most important skill to grow your plumbing business and trade? First thing, being in business for many years, is one of the most important skills is customer service and being able to speak to the customer and convey a message and to gain the customer's trust to make sure that the customer knows that you are skilled, you are capable of completing a job that they are spending quite a bit of money on, knowing that you're going to be doing a job that's going to last them quite a long while and not have to worry about having to call anybody else to fix something. So that's one thing, is being able to speak to customers. Growing the trade, me being 7 years ago, the undertaking of seeing if I was capable of being a plumbing professor and standing up in front of a classroom and conveying something that I've been in the trade for over 30 years, working with my dad and, gaining a lot of experience, and just wanted to give back and pass on a little bit of that to plumbers that are working their way through, working their way up, not sugarcoating anything. The biggest thing that we can do is being honest with plumbers that are coming through the trade and making sure that they understand that not everything is a bed of roses, that there are going to be days when you don't feel like going to work and you still have to get up and go to work. You have to get up and get a job done, and making sure that, number one, the job gets done properly, the job gets done well, and being proud of what you are. I've always been a big proponent that if you can't sign your name to something, put your name up on the wall. As soon as somebody opens that up and they see your name, you're proud of what you've done. We are skilled tradespeople for a reason. We have 9,000 hours of an apprenticeship for a reason. We have the right to charge what we want to charge. Nobody complains to the mechanic about how much they're charging to fix the car. The plumbing factor, plumbing in a home, is one of the biggest things that is undervalued, when it's really one of the most valuable things. Human beings can live without light. You cannot live without clean drinking water, and you cannot live without wastewater being removed from where you're living. So I take my job, I take pride in what I've done for 30 plus years in the trade. I am a big proponent of training. I am a big proponent of passing on what I've learned and passing on what I've gained in 30 plus years of work to the next generation. I want to be a mentor. I want to be somebody that's looked upon, and when my name is spoken, they have only good things to say, most people anyway. That's about it. Just be honest with yourself, put in a good hard day's work, make sure that you do good work, and be proud of what you do, because we are valuable to society.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me on the show. I just want to say, first off, thank you to Manny and the crew for this 500th episode. And of course, Dahl for sponsoring. You guys are super awesome to get a few plumbers together. So my name is Sam. I run a small business here right in Oakville. My website is samtheplumber.ca. My Instagram is samtheplumberoakville. And my X is, or Twitter is Sam_the_plumber. Now, Twitter and my website is a little bit outdated, but I am in the process of getting uploading new pictures, so stay tuned. But anyways, joking aside, thank you for having me on here. So I'm going to pull over a card, and it says, what is your least and most enjoyable part of plumbing? How long do I have to talk about this? I can talk I can talk for the longest time for something like this. But anyways, plumbing, I enjoy it very much. My least and most favorable. So I can only talk about what I know. And what I know is custom houses. We do residential custom homes, and we try to shoot for perfection. We've been doing this for over 15 years. So over that time, we've seen some ups and downs. And so I think what's key for something that's valuable for the industry and other plumbers is to understand that you really need three things. You need a fixture book, more specifically a plumbing fixture book, cabinet specs, and you also need the list of the appliances. I mean, those are the three key emails per job that you really want to execute, and you want to know all the measurements, and you want to rough in perfect, because any perfect finish started off by the rough in, or the foundation, if you will. You got to build this thing and make sure it's precise. Again, we're doing custom homes. We want all the information. So some of the challenges along the way that haven't been so great is some people say to me, yeah, okay, Sam, you want to be great and want to be perfect. We want you to, and that's why they hire us. Great. But when we ask for the specs, they say, well, it's just a standard sink. Well, I said, pardon? A standard sink. I think the standard sink went out probably in 1988. It's 2024 now. Some sinks are not compatible with some faucets, believe it or not. I haven't seen it very much, but I have seen it once in a while. But anyways, what you want is, there is no standard. You want the specs. You want the cabinet specs. You want the make and model number of the fixture. You want all that information to have a perfect rough-in. And that way, that's the bulk of the work. Plumbing residential is the rough-in. That's key. If you can get that perfect, after the drywall goes on, after it's painted, after it's all done, we don't really want to be the guys to say, oh, we missed a water line, or we missed a drain or something, or we're going to tell them later and you can fix it later. But we don't want to do that. We want to shoot for perfect for you and for everybody, for that fact. You imagine calling the framers in to frame your house and you say, well, I think there's some of the windows that are going to go on this side, or maybe this wall or that wall. Or HVAC, is there 2 furnaces in the basement, or is there one in the basement, one on the second floor? But, just rough it in now, we'll tell you later. No, they have all the information. So plumbing, we need the same thing. We're building a custom house for our customer. We want it to be seamless. So there's some ups and downs. We ask for a few things, and most of the time we get the answers. And when we don't, we try to work together and ask again, and we try to do it. But basically, without the specs, there's really no way to rough something in and make it perfect. We need to make it perfect. So, what else can I talk about? The importance of that. So I'm going to actually just leave it at that. This is an amazing show with so many rock stars out there, and I'm so glad that they came out. And I just want to say congratulations to the show for the 500th episode. That's so cool. And they asked me to be on it. I'm like, okay, great. Awesome. Absolutely. You are all great people. So congratulations on your 500th show. And thank you to, of course, Dahl, Canadian Made, sponsoring as well. Thomas and the crew. Always good guys. So anyways, thanks for having me on, and keep plumbing.
The question I was given was being a part of a plumbing team or going on your own, and being a one-person plumbing business. Which do you prefer? You know what? I preferred being part of a plumbing team to get the experience before going out on my own. I learned a lot working from a family company, as well as the book side of things, which helped me go on my own. But once I did go on my own, I did find after a year or so, I definitely needed help. And that's why I was glad I brought Kristen on beside me, which, yes, a lot of people say that in the very beginning, you can go on your own just by yourself. You'll have a great career. I feel like that in any trade. But it definitely helps having a great team around you as well. So I would say for sure it has been great. I've seen both sides of it, but it is nice being able to obviously build a great team around you. And I'd also like to congratulate the Construction Life on 500 episodes. And thank you very much, Dahl, for hosting the event.
Okay. All right. I'm good now.
Hi, I'm Lucas Oliveira. I work for Lucas Plumbing, and my question is, how can we solve the labor shortage? So, in my opinion, I've been in the trade for about 6 years. I'm probably one of the younger guys here, for sure. And I think that the best way to go about solving this problem is to start with what's happening right now. This whole event is amazing. It's being put on by Dahl, the Construction Life, and all the guys that are involved with this. I think it's a great opportunity to get the name out there, to get the trade, and just let a bunch of guys see, the guys who are not in the business. The biggest thing I think we should really work on is the social media aspect, the internet, because the internet it's not going anywhere. It's only growing. It's only getting bigger, and there's only going to be more opportunities like this. So if I can go out myself and showcase some of the work that I do, and it's not to showcase it in a way to brag or boast. It's more about being able to, articulate how I want to show my work to the world, right? It's a lot of pride that you have with what you can do and what you're able to provide to the customer. And being able to use social media, it allows you to meet people. It allows you to talk with guys. I've met with a lot of guys in England, in Australia, all over the world. So we discuss plumbing and different codes and all that kind of fun stuff. And social media, it just allows a lot of the guys to get the first introduction, the first taste of what you would get in the trade. I think there's a very big stigma, especially for the young guys, because I am a young guy, and we didn't have any real introduction or or anyone to show us how the trade looks. It's usually family or friends who get you in to begin with. And I was blessed. I was able to get a co-op in high school, and that's how I really started. And throughout doing that, I was able to continue, and I've loved it ever since. I haven't went a day where I decided I didn't want to be a plumber. It's always, there's hard days, there's easy days, but that's with everything. And I think realistically, plumbing and construction is only going to get bigger. You only need more guys, and we really need to put an emphasis, like I said, on the social media and showing guys that it's really, it's not all just, how can I put this, dirty work, the guys at the bottom of the totem pole. If anything, it's the other way around. Construction guys, trades are usually very smart, very high-class individuals who are able to put your dream that you have on paper into real life, and you can actually use it and apply it and live it. So I think that's the real way to answer this question. How can we solve the labor shortage? So what I wanted to do is I wanted to thank Dahl with their great valves, their great products that I use almost every single day. And I also wanted to thank Manny and the Construction Life for bringing us all together and allowing me to be here. So thank you.
Okay. And is this required? Is this with the 6 minutes involved too? Like, is this like? Oh, okay. Okay.
Mostly residential. I've had experience in the industrial, institutional, commercial, a little bit of everything throughout the plumbing industry. Once I started my business, I basically decided to stick with residential. It's what I enjoy doing, and it's what I have the most fun doing. So that's what I've geared my company towards, and that's what we're going to keep doing going forward. So I got a question: what tools should a first-year apprentice have? Now, for me, it's hand tools. Any first-year apprentice that's coming to work with me, you just need to have your hand tools. I would never expect anybody to, go out and invest all this money in their power tools and Milwaukee this or whatever you're using. Show up with a cheap bag of tools. You got your pliers, your screwdriver, some Allen keys, and basically day one for any apprentice, and I think this goes for a lot of different companies, is this is what we're going to be doing. This is what you need. Try to guide them in the right area. You do not need to go spend your money on all the fancy to start out, especially as a first-year apprentice. You're just getting into the trades. You're just figuring out what to do. So there's no point in spending all this money, especially when we have these tools. And as you start going through your apprenticeship, you will learn as you go. You got your set of hand tools, and then you'll start using my power tools and realize, I need this, I need that. And you start gathering those tools. But I would not recommend any apprentices going ahead and just spending their whole first paycheck, their second paycheck on all tools just so you can be that guy. Take your time, get what you need, the basics, and everything else falls into place. There's no reason to do that. Now, in the plumbing world, there is, the big machines, your augers, your drain machines. No first-year apprentice needs to buy any of that. So for me, good set of hand tools. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, and that's that. That's the best start you can get in starting your apprenticeship. So for that, that's basically all I have on that apprentice side of things. And that's that. So from there, congratulations to the TCL for their 500th episode. And again, thank you to Dahl Valves. I've been using Dahl Valves for a long time, and they're the way to go. So thank you guys.
I don't know what to say. Where can a plumber?
I also want to say congratulations to Manny on 500 episodes. It's a huge milestone. He's done extremely well with it. I think what he's doing for the construction industry goes without saying. He's making a huge impact. I hope he knows that, and I hope he keeps pushing and becomes more of a voice for us. I also want to thank Thomas over at Dahl, great guy. If anybody's listening, plumbers, reach out to Thomas, Dahl Valve Man, and go check out the tour. It's worth missing a day of work and checking it out. He's a great guy.
Why does a tradesperson choose to become a plumber?
Okay.
We do a lot of residential, small commercial stuff, and custom builds. But I guess the question I picked, where do you see plumbers being disrespected and respected in the industry? I guess for that one, I'd have to say it's more that cliche Hollywood character. I guess they've painted plumbers in general as being the overweight guy bending over your toilet with his, I'll say butt crack hanging out. And just that's the image that public has of someone coming in your house to fix your faucet or do any service work on your house or coming to do anything plumbing related. And to try to change that in my company, in my eyes, I like to obviously show up being presentable. You're trying to build that trust with the client. They're letting you into their house, which is their most possessed value or most valued possession that they have. And they're paying you money to work on it and to keep it functioning for what they need to live every day, to wash their hands, use their toilet, to bathe, everything. And just people have that image stuck in their head, and it's hard to get that out of their head, I find. And I try to take that out if I can and keep that image a clean cut, presentable plumber coming into your house to do those jobs that they've called you to do. Like I said, they're paying you to come into their house, and if you're laying out the red carpet with carpets or booty covers, it's shows that extra level of tardiness that you want to have when you're having someone come into your house. But, yeah, that's about it. But that's right. The disrespect in plumbers and the respect that you want to deserve or want to earn it, obviously. But I think that's it. But yeah, on Construction Life, congratulations on the 500th episode, and thanks to Dahl for having us out for the evening of networking and meeting all the nice faces.
Okay, I think I got it.
All right. Okay, my name's Kristen Ludlow. I am with Brandon Laidman Plumbing, Inc. I was this guy's first employee. We've been, hanging around and, doing some amazing plumbing work for quite some time. And the question that I got was, should more plumbing manufacturers offer up more product knowledge seminars? To this, I would say yes. So essentially, with the amount of new innovative products that are coming out through different plumbing manufacturers, I think that seminars would be key for the tradespeople to get out there, actually learn about the products so that they can troubleshoot and install it effectively without having to track down too much information. Certain examples, Kohler is coming out with the new digital series, which is phenomenal, beautiful, stylistic, but a lot of it is tech-based. And as tradespeople, we are more mechanically inclined. So to have training seminars on those types of products, I think would be extremely beneficial. And also, congratulations on 500 episodes. And thanks, Dahl, for hosting the event.
And I just wanted to congratulate the Construction Life on your 500th episode. I've been a long time listener of the podcast, and it's been a great adventure here, listening to a lot of topics that sometimes are not spoken about too often, as far as mental health in the trades and making sure that we all take care of each other. And I also want to thank Dahl for putting on a great event for us. Can't tell you how many Dahl valves and partition stops I've changed, so thank you, Dahl. You're a great company. Keep up the good work.
Okay, so my question here is, why does a tradesperson choose to become a plumber? I think a tradesperson honestly chooses to become, if you decide that you want to be in the plumbing industry, for me, it was all about gaining skills, and I really didn't even know what I was going to get myself into in the plumbing industry when I first started. And as I was building the skills that were required to, okay, can we start over? Oh my gosh, this is terrible. I think I'm not prepared today.
Just a new company starting out of Kitchener, so yeah, remember the name. Today's question is tape on dope or dope on tape? This question is brought to you by Bob Baker of Baker Plumbing in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Personally, I think dope on tape. That's just what I was always taught and seems to be the common practice. I know you can do either or, but I think the dope on the tape makes more sense as the dope is a lubricant. And so, yeah, that's all I got. And thank you to, congratulations to, can I redo that? Yeah, okay. Hi, my name is Phil from Wisewater Plumbing. Today's question is tape on dope or dope on tape? I was always taught dope on tape, and that's what I've stuck with. I've met other people that do it the opposite. And in my opinion, both seem to work fine. But for the sake of today's purposes, we'll go with dope on tape. I just want to congratulate the Construction Life on 500 episodes. And thank you to Dahl.
I really should, do you want, maybe I should come back and do this.
We are a mostly residential plumbing company. We've been in business for 9 years, going strong and growing, and we specialize in repairs, maintenance, service, and upscale renovations. And we are currently moving into the commercial space, which is property management type of work. Yeah. And where do we go from here? Okay, so I got to grab one of these questions. Okay, let's see what kind of question do I get. Do I read it out loud? Are hot water recirc setups worth it? Okay, are hot water recirc setups worth it? I would say depending on the environment and if this is a house or a building. If we're talking about a house, if it's a very small house, single family dwelling, I think it's nice to have. It's a luxury feature for sure, but I would say it's not that important. I would say it's definitely very important when it comes to multi-family type of setups, like a high-rise building. Without that, it would take forever to get hot water. And what the recirc line does is basically a loop, and what it does prevent water from going stagnant, cooling down, and yeah. I would say in a house, if it's a larger square foot house, probably, I don't know, 3,000, 4,000 and up with multiple bathrooms, I would say it's definitely worth having, and I think it's a great feature. For commercial, definitely must have. Okay, do I pick another question or? Okay, that's it? Manny, thank you very much for having me here, and I wanted to congratulate you on 500 shows. I think you're doing a fantastic job and a real service to construction and trades, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate you. And I also appreciate Thomas from Dahl Valve Company for throwing on this event and really supporting plumbers. And I think you guys are really special, and what you guys are doing is special to push our industry forward. And yeah, I think it's a great thing. And thank you very much for all your hard work and dedication.
For all new apprentices. Okay.
So I get to pick a question here. All right. Other than passion for plumbing, what do you do when you're not plumbing? That's a good question. I would say it's a mix between family life. I have 2 kids, wonderful wife, and I spend as much time as I can when I'm with them. I do a lot of traveling because of my role. So I am trying to be a much more present human being. I've spent a large part of my career on the road and distance from them. So trying to be more present on the evenings, more present at home on the weekends. So I do spend a lot of time on the family. Other than that, I spend a lot of time on self-education, actually. I do a lot of courses, online courses, constantly reading. I try to read anywhere between 10 to 12 books a year. A lot of people read a lot more than that. I was probably reading one book every 3 years for the longest time. So for the last couple of years, I've been trying to educate myself. I think it's a constant learning in this world now. Things are changing all the time. The dynamic of business, the dynamic of life is changing. Health and how you keep healthy is changing. So with the world as it is, I'm always trying to keep up on that type of thing. Outside of family and education, I would say it becomes work. I am not a plumber. I work in the plumbing industry. Dahl Valve, we supply to the industry. So I come from outside of that for the last 20 years. So for me, the constant education on the world of plumbing is important to me for what I'm doing right now. So those would be the passions on outside of my passion for plumbing. And I want to say congratulations to Manny on the 500th episode of The Construction Life. It's an amazing accomplishment, and wishing you all the best on the next 500.
Would you ever pee or poo in a customer's newly installed toilet? That one's pretty funny. You know, I did have one person shit in the toilet. Yeah, okay. And it wasn't even installed.
Out of the GTA and Muskoka region, I was previously a plumber, so Manny decided to have previous plumber come out here, and here we are. So, how important are construction podcasts for the trade and industry? First of all, Manny, can't thank Manny enough for his dedication to the podcast. The information, the wealth of people who come and share their experience, stories, and information is huge. For years, we had no outlet to go anywhere. We were basically going around, calling, going to different sites, asking other friends who maybe were in the industry. And for years, a lot of people wouldn't help, especially in the GC specifically. We almost felt like we were alone. Manny has created a huge community around construction, and all over the world we see different podcasts being brought up. There's podcasts about many different topics. It seemed like construction was not there. From our experience, both Justin's and mine, we've already been on this show twice, and we've learned much more than just being a guest. We learned from different GCs, different plumbers, electricians, you name it. And just seeing how everyone comes together collectively is great. The podcast shows so much. Unfortunately, there's always some sort of a stigma. There's always typically bad days and some bad stories and shared. But then there's also things that, now we're finally talking about mental health and what we're going through. We're not just guys with hard hats and running around on the site and trying to get things done. We do have personal lives, and we try to do our best to give a great customer experience. It's tough for everybody, but luckily, this construction podcast in particular has paved the way for us to get a conversation going, and has been able to give guys outlets to not only reach out to Manny, but all of us, especially here on episode number 500. Let me repeat, episode number 500. So we're all kind of DMing each other, giving everybody a call and saying, hey, I've heard you on this and I've seen you do this. And, this is great. I learned a lot from your last, construction's already a smaller community to begin with. It doesn't seem like that way because especially here in Ontario, you can drive 10 hours and not even get halfway through. But really, construction is very small. And this podcast, I'm going to keep saying this podcast is bringing everyone closer and closer together. We are finding that everyone is able to start to voice their opinions more. And I believe it's something very, very important. That being said, one of our sponsors today is, again, episode number 500, Dahl. So as a previous plumber, I don't do much plumbing myself anymore. However, when it was the first thing that I would pick up at my suppliers, Dahl valves. They're built really well, and they're built right here in Ontario. Like, you can't beat that. Now, as a GC, nothing has changed. I go and I supply them. I put down all of my contracts, line items. They always end up on our sites. I've been grateful, and I appreciate meeting the owners, and they seem like they really care about the plumbing industry. And I know everyone else here at episode 500 today does appreciate them as well. So homeowners, listen, you can pay a few dollars for whatever product. Yes, Dahl is much more, but you know what? You're not going to have any issues, and you're going to have less callbacks, meaning there's going to be money in your pocket. So once again, Dahl, thank you very much. Manny from the Construction Life, thank you for having us here today and hosting this great event. We couldn't thank you enough for putting this podcast together, for having us on previously, but we really, really hope this continues on, and we hope more people come and share their stories. So thanks again.
Okay. All right. Okay. Can we redo this one? Okay. Okay. So the question I got is, what is the next big thing in plumbing? There are a variety of opportunities in the plumbing industry. And honestly, this industry really needs a lot of innovation. There's so many things that you can do to really innovate in this industry, whether that is helping plumbers with things that are backbreaking, like lifting a toilet up and down the stairs, or finding the right filtration system for a homeowner, or being able to find ways in this industry to really, to really add value to this industry, I think is super important. And yeah, the networking and the social media with the plumbing industry, I think is huge. And I'm really grateful for this opportunity that I have in the plumbing industry, because it just opened my eyes to the amount of opportunity that is out there. And even when, so for instance, like, I've had a big realization lately, like my knee is pretty messed up and I'm like 28 years old. And I am trying to strategize ways to be able to help myself not always be hands-on. Like, you really have to look into like the business side of things as well if you're looking to get into the trades, because, working a laborious job for 8 years even is tough on the body. And so when you first start your career, I would really suggest like looking at the business side of things if that's something that you're interested in, because there's plenty of opportunity in the innovation side, business, just really strategizing, not only hands-on, but also what can you do with the skills that you have gained and the value you can add to this industry. So the next best thing in plumbing, I would just say that explore the opportunities that you have and work with what you have. And you just never know what kind of opportunity is really going to just start knocking at your door. And, for all the people who are also struggling with a bad knee or a bad whatever, I hear you on that, because, it's tough sometimes. And I hope that you can find something that's not always hands-on, and that you can find something that is really something that you can innovate towards the industry that can really help you exceed in life. And seek opportunities. And thank you so much, Manny, for having me on the Construction Life podcast for the second time now. And thank you so much, Dahl, for having us as well. I love the Dahl valves, and I always use them. So, yeah, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
And I guess I'll pull up a question here. Here's the question. Are most plumbers missing servicing opportunities? Absolutely. I know that they are, because I am personally. I do a lot of new construction, a lot of restaurants, and I'm not doing the service work because I'm not set up for service. I find that the service work is hard to do because you need guys to take on those small calls all the time. That's something I want to correct for sure. Well, I guess the service side is completely different. So getting set up for that would take a whole different business plan. And I think that's something we're going to start doing soon. It's something we're going to look forward to in 2024. Start opening up a service division and grow in that opportunity. It's definitely a much needed thing in this city, because it's an old city and not a lot of people want to do it. It's kind of dirty work. And our guys have been fortunate to do new construction because, it's a lot cleaner. You're done at 3:00, go home, be with the kids. Services, you get the call and you got to jump and do it. So, I don't know. I don't know exactly when we're going to start this process, but we're going to start looking at hiring these guys. We do have 2 years worth of service. We have 2 years worth of restaurants that we've been doing, so we have the clientele to do it. So all the work's there. And we're going to just start advertising as well, something we never did in our business. Our business has been mostly referrals. Everything's been basically word of mouth. So, and Instagram. Instagram has been a big help to getting work. Probably a lot of guys are saying that. We've gotten big jobs on Instagram. So that's something we'll put on our Instagram soon. Yeah, I think that answers that question. I would like to congratulate the Construction Life for 500 episodes. And I would like to I'd like to thank Dahl for sponsoring this, and appreciate you guys inviting me on here. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Laura. I'm My Plumbing Adventure on Instagram, and I am a third-year plumbing apprentice. Let's start with this question. If you weren't plumbing, what other trade would you be doing? So when I did my pre-apprenticeship program at Humber, we did a little bit of welding, and I hadn't tried any trade beforehand. And I thought welding was pretty cool, like pretty hardcore. And it was also very difficult to be a good welder. It takes a lot of skill. So I could see myself enjoying welding, because when you get good at it, you can make some pretty amazing stuff. So I think I would choose welding.
We are a newly opened company. We've been open for about 8 months, servicing high-rise buildings and commercial properties within the GTA. Currently, we have 5 technicians on the road, and always looking for more buildings we can look after, and more condo managers and property managers to give us a shot. Would you ever pee or poo in a customer's newly installed toilet? Personally, I probably wouldn't. After we install toilets, we always leave the plastic wrapping on the toilet seat and all that, clean it up as nice as it can be, and then we kind of just get out of there. I think if you are hiring somebody that would pee or poo in your newly installed toilet, he's probably from Kijiji, or he's a handyman. So I probably wouldn't be hiring that guy back again. Thank you, Manny, and the Construction Life for having us on their 500th episode. And thank you to Dahl Valve for sponsoring this event. They're the only valve we use when installing R19s under a sink. Thank you guys for being the best.
One more time. We need something. I do. Well, you know what? Someone else is going to use it, right? No, we're only doing one. Oh, sick. That's good.
All right. My question. So, do you schedule your own jobs or does someone else? Do you use a CRM app? Well, I'm a bit of a dinosaur despite that I might fit into the millennial category with these apps. But to answer the question is, no, I don't use apps. I don't use, social media really. I'm very old school, antiquated. Pen and paper is pretty good. I've mastered the art of putting it into my phone calendar, so I run it. It's truly a for me, by me experience, and I think that level of personability is great that a lot of my customers really appreciate. And yeah, that's pretty well it as far as an answer for that question. So I don't see any use for apps even for myself in the future. I'll probably stay with the antiquated technology in my mind, but that's it. But I'd just like to take a minute to congratulate the Construction Life for 500 episodes, and a big shout out to Dahl for hosting this event. This was really great. Happy to be a part of it. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to Construction Life on their 500 episode, and thank you very much to Dahl Valve.
And I'm here on the Construction Life podcast for the 500th episode. I'm very excited to be here. This is very cool. The question do I say about the question? Okay. The question I have is, should we have plumbing mentors available for all new apprentices? I think, yeah, that's a huge thing. It's a good thing. Mentors are very important. I was lucky enough to have a really good mentor, Victor. Thanks, Vic. Love you, buddy. I hear it all the time, and a lot of us apprentices and plumbers have a very similar story where when you start out, there's you're with a company, you got a journeyman that's above you who's doesn't treat you very well, and it can make plumbing not very exciting at the start. Having a good mentor is huge, but at the same time, for apprentices, I think it's very important to advocate for yourself, and it's your job to structure that 5 years you have for your apprenticeship. If you're at a company and you're in that situation where someone's just treating you like a dog, sometimes it's up to you to make that hard decision and maybe move companies. If you stay there and you're just complacent, you're not going to grow because you're comfortable. Complacency is the enemy. Success is your responsibility. And we have 5 years to structure ourselves to be the best we can be. And having a good mentor is definitely a fast track to that. But you have to have your own shit. Is that okay? Is that gonna get cut out? Where I where I didn't know what to say, Sure. So I'm I don't know. I've never been a part of something like this, right? This is really cool. I feel important sitting in this chair. Yeah, very cool. Okay, yeah. Congratulations to the Construction Life podcast on their 500th episode. It's very cool. And I also want to say thank you to Dahl. Thank you, Thomas, Dahl. Perfect.
Is there enough training for plumbers to go on site on their own? Now, that's a bit of a tricky question because everybody could probably be a little bit different to what they're capable of on site and the training that they require to be given that kind of responsibility. Myself, I was thrown in a van by myself at around 19 with a little bit of experience. So it was a big learning curve to get used to, but I was able to adapt to that like most of the people in the industry have to. So I don't know if it's a question of if there's enough training for plumbers to go on site on their own, because there's a certain amount of work that needs to get done, because in the industry, everyone's looking to get something done. So at the end of the day, your boss or your foreman can't always be there. If you're a competent person and you can handle a small situation like that, you should be able to take care of those things on your own. So I do believe there is enough training for plumbers to go to site on their own. I'll answer that question with a yes. I do believe there is, but whether or not each company provides that, that's the question. But at Expert Plumbing, we definitely spend a lot of time on training on the back end of things. We have classes every Thursday for 3 hours in the morning. So we make an effort for training at Expert Plumbing. I think every company should do something of the sorts, or at least try to. So congratulations to Manny and Dahl for 500 episodes, and thank you for having me here today. Thank you very much.
Just say I'm going to hear, should I say like I'm on the 500 episode, or just go right into opening the question? Doesn't matter. Okay. Hi, I'm Aaron, owner of Expert Plumbing and Drains. We're here on the 500th show of the Construction Life podcast. Proud moment. Thank you for having us here. I'm going to answer a random question now. Got a couple of pages in front of me here, and I got a couple of minutes to answer a question. So here it goes. Pick one that someone didn't put back down. What is the most trouble-free part of a plumbing system? Wow. Trouble-free part of a plumbing system. Gotta think about that. Part of a plumbing system that I never have to fix. Problem-free. Well, I'm going to say that water lines, if they're installed correctly, typically solder or PEX doesn't really matter. But if you do your solder joints right and you install the pipes right, you're not going to be back for 100 years to fix them. I've seen copper pipes in buildings, 60, 80 years old. So I'm going to say what is the most trouble-free part of a plumbing system is potentially the water pipes if they're installed correctly. I'd like to take this time to congratulate the Construction Life on their 500th episode. What a fantastic journey. Thank you to Manny and the team for really putting highlights on the industry across the construction industry, plumbing, electrical, you name it. If you haven't tuned into the show, you need to tune in. You're missing out. And a massive thank you to Dahl, fantastic local company here out of Oakville. And thank you for being a sponsor. And you guys are really helping in the industry too. So much respect to that. And thank you for what you're doing.
So anyways, here goes. Question is, what is the stigma associated with the plumbing trade? Okay, so like most of you guys know, I'm going to be straight up. I'm not going to hold back, and I'm going to be myself. The stigma associated with plumbing trade is generally the bad rap that most of them get, and I don't know why, but it just happens, and I've seen it often. No education. Basically, becoming a plumber was the last resort. Or, just to do it as a side gig or a timely thing to make some extra money, where I completely disagree with that. Might be biased. I mean, I love the trades. I love everybody that's in trades. Anybody that wants to become a plumber, educated or not, it doesn't matter. It is a fantastic livelihood. You can make a ton of money. You can provide for your family. And as far as I know, they're all just down-to-earth, great guys and girls. And that's pretty much it. That's the stigma that I think is surrounding the plumbing trade. And it's completely BS. Anyways, from what I gather, that's my experience only. But yeah, so that's the question, and that's my answer. And I just want to obviously congratulate Manny on the 500th episode of the Construction Life. This is awesome, and it's a pleasure to be here. And also, very important to me, I want to congratulate or at least thank Dahl for basically sponsoring everything. Thomas is a fantastic dude. Dahl, guys, if you watch the podcast, they are the best. Dahl is fantastic plumbing services. They're awesome. Love you, Thomas. You're a little bit of all right. Mikey is out.
What's your key to balancing work and life? I feel like in a situation, that's such like a common question, especially in the trades of like, how do you balance the work and how do you balance, your personal things? I feel like it's something that we all need to kind of figure out for ourselves. It's one of those things, like I just had a child a couple months ago. You know, I've been married for a couple years, and it's just one of those things where I'm learning every day how to be a little bit better husband and father. And then obviously, you know, for plumbing, you know, I started my apprenticeship and it was go, trying to learn as much as I can. Like that really never stopped. So, you know, it's hard for someone to be like, oh, you know, you got to do your 40 hours a week. It's like it just feels like in our industry, it's not really about a number. It's about like getting things done and how hard you're willing to go to get things done and get things to a level of quality and pride that you can kind of look back on and be like, I did it. And I think really the balance is realizing that there's a quality and pride that has to happen on your personal life as well. So, you know, really what you should be asking yourself is like, how do I balance work and life? It's like, no, how do I balance the quality and pride of my work as a plumber and my life as a husband and father? So I think that's kind of the best way that I've figured out to, you know, make it work in my brain. Congratulations, Construction Life, on 500 episodes. It's kind of wild that you guys have done 500 episodes, and it doesn't seem like you guys are slowing down. So congratulations. And thanks, Dahl, for putting on this networking event. I really appreciate it. And I'm learning a lot, and I'm meeting a lot of people that normally I just message on Instagram. So it's nice to put the face to logos. Thank you very much.
My question is, do you challenge building inspectors? And the answer to that is 100% yes. Personally, I've been on a lot of job sites that inspectors come and some of them don't know exactly what they're kind of doing. So as a person that's licensed in the trade, I am an HVAC. There's a lot of stuff that they would challenge us on, and we know what we're doing and all that. And can I restart? Sorry, it was too long of a pause. Oh, I just keep going. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So when it comes to these inspectors, they come, they challenge us a lot. But as licensed people, we have codes when it comes to our buildings, projects, and all that. Because of that, we'll cut that part out. Sometimes a lot of inspectors, they could be wrong. And it makes a lot of GCs, plumbers, HVAC guys, makes our jobs a lot more difficult, for sure. And when it comes to inspectors, we need to challenge them to know that whatever we do, everything passes. Not yet. Challenge building inspectors. Yeah, so when it also comes to inspectors, we get the good and bads from them. And as contractors coming to do a job, it makes it a lot more difficult, and we also have to explain it to a lot of homeowners, clients, builders, etc. Right? So, yeah, we definitely everyone needs to challenge these inspectors because all these inspectors, they all have a different view on the project, and a lot of them like to have things done a different way. No one's really the same. So, yeah, I'd like to congratulate TCL Construction for their 500th podcast, and a big shout out to Dahl. Thank you.
We'll get Robert on the show. We'll talk a lot more about getting students in the business and getting all kinds of young trades into the business, because that's important, because you've been doing it for 2 decades now.
Yeah, pretty much. And like I said, I picked out the perfect question here. Is that what's the first lesson a new plumbing apprentice should learn?
Awesome.
And I could probably talk for like 2 hours.
Awesome.
So I don't know
I'll
how
get you
long
back.
these podcasts are,
the plumbers one have gone 3 hours, so we got plenty. We got plenty of time. Thanks, Robert.
Okay, take care.
Hello, I'm My Plumbing Adventure. No, wait, can we redo that?
Okay. Well, my name is Robert Schrader. I am a secondary high school teacher, and I teach plumbing and heating. So I teach the Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program, and I'm also part of the SHISM program, which is Specialist High School Majors. So I've been teaching for 18 years, plumbing and heating. I have many, many students out in the field as we speak. A lot of them have their own plumbing companies, and they actually, in turn, hire on and take on my current students. So I have my students starting September. Basically, I start teaching them everything that I know. I'm a master plumber myself, and I've had my own company. And so basically, I teach them not just the what a 90 and a 45 are, but basically what it takes to be a very good apprentice. So those are the learning skills. So as I said, you could be the smartest idiot in the world. And so we have them. And then somewhere about March break, this is when the companies start calling me, or I start calling plumbing companies. And then those very students go out to their placements. So they're probably the equivalent of a second-year apprentice, level 2 or intermediate. And I teach them the theory, and they also learn about, they actually have 8 workstations. So they do small hand projects, and then they go on to full 2, 3, 4-piece washrooms. So, and with the business side that I have, I teach them also accounting, time cards, filling out an invoice, paperwork, profit margins, and things like that. So one of the questions, or the question that I have here is, what's the first lesson a new plumbing apprenticeship should learn? Basically, they should know where they are, showing up on time. Not just showing up on time, but being consistent. Basically, the first year apprentice, you're doing the real basic stuff. You're getting coffees, but you got to learn and pay attention. I would say that's one of the major things. Pay attention, stay off your phone, try to anticipate what the plumber is learning or what he's doing. Listen. A lot of the lessons that are learned are not just visual, but it could be a story of at lunchtime, things like that. So that is probably the biggest lesson. And if you really, really want to do this, you're going to, think of the concept. You get paid to learn. What a concept. So a lot of my students ended up buying a house. I bought my first house when I was 26. And a lot of my students are buying homes and then they're renting it out. And you're not going to do any of that unless you work hard. And you have to sacrifice. And that's going to be another thing. That is a lifestyle change. You're not getting up late and sleeping in or partying on a Wednesday or Thursday. One of the big things you're going to do is you got to be there mentally and physically there at 6 o'clock in the morning, not just one of the two. And you got to be ready to go to work. All right. So you can do all the other things on the weekends and things like that. But that's one of the big things that they should learn. I would say, like I said, I can go on forever, but I would say no is not in the vocabulary. If the plumber wants you to work a little bit later, yes. If he wants you to work on the weekend, yes. There are certain things that you need to do to progress, right? And I also tell my students that it's not always about the money. You're getting paid to learn anyways. But one of the things is that, at the end of the day, that money will come, right? You're going to have the skills, and then you have the freedom. I'm a perfect lesson where I work for a plumbing company, Lampert Plumbing, and then I said, I'm a little bit bored. Let me have my own company. So I started up my own plumbing company, and you know what? If that didn't work, I could always go back to Lampert Plumbing. And then 18 years ago, I became a high school teacher, And, you know, I got my teaching certificate, went through the whole process, went to Queen's University, and I always knew in the back of my head, you know, if this doesn't work out, I could always start my own company or go back to Lampert Plumbing. So that's another big thing, is the freedom of the trades, and you can take those anywhere you want to go. So that's the really nice thing. That was my time. What's that? Yeah, sure. So I just want to say thank you very much for the opportunity. I want to congratulate Construction Life, and I want to also thank Thomas from Dahl for inviting me over, and it's been fantastic. And I've already met a plumber that has one of my former students. So it's like a family reunion. So thank you very much for everything, and I greatly appreciate it.
Ooh. Why does the table look like it's moved?
So that's, I think, about all I got. I'm sure there's a lot of people watching this thinking, "Oh, I missed that. What?" I'll close by saying congratulations, Manny. 500 episodes. Holy moly. And thank you to you and to Angelina for all the work you do, for bringing us fantastic content. And here's to 1,000 episodes. Cheers.
Okay. I just want to thank TCL and congratulate them on their 500th episode today. And a special thank you to Thomas from Dahl for hosting this great event.
No, I'm looking at the brick line, but that's fine. That's 500 shows. I want to thank everybody that attended our event, all the plumbers, and Mikey and John Durbano and Greg and Justin from Generations Contracting joining us and celebrating 500 shows, but also celebrating networking plumbers together. We had almost 30 plumbers here in the, not studio one by one, but in the event space here. And it was amazing how so many people knew of everybody but never met everybody, and it was the first opportunity that they got a chance to meet everybody and talk shop. And there was a lot of talking going on, so I want to thank Dahl for supporting us and supporting this show. And there's future things that are going to be happening. We're going to be at Simpex, CMPX, the plumbing show that's coming up, the big plumbing show that's coming up in Toronto, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody again there, because I'm pretty sure that everybody attended today is going to pass by there. So thank you very much. That's 500, and here's to us doing another 500 shows. We're out of here. Thanks.